Wrapped up their stay in Las Vegas yesterday with a game at the Cox Pavilion against OKC, the final Vegas game for both teams since they didn't make the playoffs. Don Barlow, Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley, Julian Champagnie did not play for the Spurs. Fans still getting those Wembanyama jerseys, though. There's a big seller. First quarter, CD Sissoko, the layup and the foul, free throw good. Spurs up 17-9. He had 10 points, 8 boards, 6 assists. Later on, Sir Jabari Rice, shot clock winding down, shoots, hitting nothing but the bottom of the net. Look at there. San Antonio's up 23-11. They led 29-17 after 1 second quarter. More Rice drops in 3 more of his 9 first half points. Spurs led 53-42 at the half. Third quarter, Spurs still in the lead. Eric Stevenson from beyond the arc. There's Eric over there close to the corner. Got it. He led the Spurs with 23 yesterday. Hit 4 3-pointers. Cue up Sabari again. Creates his own shot, driving the lane, reverse layup is good. Then in the closing seconds, he steals the ball from slam dunk. Bam! Like that. San Antonio up 80-71 after 3. The Thunder tied it at 91 in the fourth. The Spurs hold them off. Javonte McCoy breaks the tie with a 3 right at a minute to go. The Thunder turn it over. Spurs get it. McCoy feeds Charles Bediako. That's a slam dunk, and that's the icing on the cake. Spurs get the win. 98-94 over Oklahoma City. Rice had 13 and game-high 4 steals. Malachi, who didn't play, was asked during the game if he had been working on something specific this offseason.
I've been lifting a lot, getting stronger, but also, just being consistent as a shooter and, just getting to my spots. So it's been good.
After Summer League, do you have a little bit of an off season before training camp starts?
Yes, a little bit, yeah. I'm going to Spain, so it should be good.
Couple of vacations for these guys. They earned them. Spurs finished the Summer League 5-2 overall. They were 2-0 in California and then 3-2 in Las Vegas. And here's something for you, Courtney.
Okay.
Being the UT grad that you are.
All right.
So remember when UT and OU played and they started calling it the Red River Shootout?
Yes.
And they went, we don't like the connotation, so we're going to change it. So they went to
Rivalry.
Rivalry.
Right.
And then they went to Red River Showdown. And now they're going back to Red River Rivalry.
Just because they know how fun it is to say all the R's.
So I don't know, those, OU and UT always got to.
There's only one thing that actually matters.
What's that?
Hook 'em horns.
It's October 7th this year.
Okay. It's in my calendar.
Don't have a time yet. Why am I not?
All right, let's talk travel. If you're planning a trip outside of the country, it may be time to make sure your passport is in order, even if your flight is several months away. A look into what continues to cause delays with passports in the next half hour. What is happening?
Is that like a bed of those little...
It's a ball pit.
The ball pit? Is that what that is?
He looks comfortable. Mike looks good.
At least he's cool. All right.
We'll see what's going on there. The passport application backlog is threatening many Americans' summer vacation plans. The State Department is processing as many as 400,000 applications a week. ABC's Trevor Ault has more on what the government is doing to get out from under that backlog.
We lost train tickets, museum tickets that were not refundable. I had to cancel everything.
A dream vacation fell apart for Robin Fiala and her family. They were forced to cancel a trip to France because their children's passports never showed up. Robin says she applied on April 1st, but by the beginning of July, the passports still weren't in hand.
This is the one time a year that we all come together and we do something fun as a family. And that's not happening.
And the Fiala family isn't alone. Thousands of Americans have been stuck in limbo. The State Department says it's been processing as many as 400,000 passport applications every week. But with a gigantic backlog of applications still lingering, the wait time for routine passport applications to process is now 10 to 13 weeks. Even expedited applications take 7 to 9 weeks. The State Department has started hosting new passport fairs across the country, hoping to help people with looming flights get their passports in order in time, including the Richardson family. They have plans to travel internationally soon.
It just would have been impossible to do the renewal.
They were just one of dozens of families attending the fair this Sunday in LA.
This is amazing, and I think it's for people like us who working parents, busy schedules, and this is a godsend.
But these last-minute efforts aren't always enough to get you your passport in time, and a lot of travelers have had to postpone or even cancel their trips.
if you have imminent international travel within 2 weeks, you can call and make an appointment at an in-person center where they can, for a decently hefty fee, but still be able to get you an emergency passport for that imminent travel.
And this backlog is so significant, Congress may soon get involved. Senator Mark Warner of Virginia says this is a crisis, and he's calling for more funding. And experts say if you're planning on traveling abroad anytime in the next decade, you should go ahead and file your application for your passport right now. Trevor Ault, ABC News, Newark Liberty International Airport.
Tens of millions of Americans are under air quality alerts today, and that includes the entire state of New York. The air in some upstate communities is classified as unhealthy for all, according to Governor Kathy Hochul. Further down south, the air will be unhealthy for sensitive groups. The problem comes from smoke as wildfires continue burning in Canada.
Yeah, lots of crazy weather across the country, us included. It is not going to change.
The heat is just not letting up. You're right about that. Yeah, and the heat's definitely going to continue over the next several days before we see maybe a few degrees that we're able to shave off of the forecast by the end of the 7 days, especially later this week and into the weekend. First, though, we got to get through another scorcher of a day today. Temperatures already warming into the 90s across the majority of south central Texas. 92 in town, 95 in Kerrville, 95 in Cotulla, it's 93 out east in Gonzales. What I'm going to do is fade to the heat index values now. You can see that, yes, especially in and around San Antonio, they are still a few degrees above the actual air temperature, and even more so the farther south that you go, especially for Carrizo Springs stretching over to Cotulla. That's where those feels like temperatures are already in the low triple digits. That's because that's where more of the humidity is this lunchtime hour. We've got some drier air mixing in across portions of the hill country, southern Edwards Plateau. Still muggy here in San Antonio, and especially the farther south and east that you travel. But still, I think later on this afternoon, a slight break in some of those dew points certainly possible, which would help with those heat index values. It is still going to be a very hot day, record challenging heat. 102 by 3 p.m. with plenty of sunshine. That forecast high sitting around 104 by 4 to 5 p.m. And then notice still by 8 p.m., we're slowly working our way through the low triple digits, eventually seeing those thermometers fall into the upper 90s later on this evening. After that, and after the sun goes down, that heat high still very much in control of our weather pattern over the next 48 to 72 hours, which is why daily triple digits continue. But as it moves west later on this week, that's when those temperatures start trending downward by a degree or two each afternoon, and when that isolated rain chance shows up by the end of the weekend. So we'll get you another full detailed look at that, plus the latest on Saharan dust coming up here in just a few.
Thank you, Mia. We'll look forward to that. A Manhattan architect and family man behind bars, accused in a string of murders going back some 15 years. 59-year-old Rex Heuermann pleading not guilty after he was charged with killing 3 women. Police found their bodies wrapped in burlap in December of 2010 on Long Island in New York. Detectives spent the weekend pulling evidence from the suspect's home, including trash bags, a filing cabinet, and weapons.
Had a series of burner phones, fictitious email accounts, and he definitely bifurcated his life as to what he did behind closed doors and what the public saw.
Police say they connected the suspect to the crimes using DNA they found on pizza crust, which was inside a trash can. The DNA sample matched DNA from a hair found on one of the victims. Now detectives are trying to determine whether Heuermann might be linked to 6 other unsolved murders.
To politics now, candidates are already hitting the campaign trail hard as part of their White House bids. And amid that, a shakeup for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' campaign. New numbers show his campaign is burning through its cash. ABC's Rachel Scott reports he's already cutting staff and could make even more changes.
Campaign shakeup. With just over a month to go until the first GOP debate, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis cutting staff and shifting his strategy.
We have got to get the job done.
Sources tell ABC News the campaign let go of roughly a dozen staffers and is now focusing on those critical early states, holding off investments in other battlegrounds. It comes as new finance reports show the DeSantis campaign burned through nearly $8 million in just 6 weeks. One of his major expenses, private air travel. But money is not the only problem for DeSantis. The governor, who has long been seen as Donald Trump's biggest Republican rival, is still trailing him in the polls.
We obviously are going to do a lot more work and get a lot more done.
Trump reported the most cash on hand. The former president feeling so confident about his lead, he says he may even skip the first debate.
Why would you let somebody that's at 0 or 1 or 2 or 3, be popping you with questions?
His rivals taking aim.
I'm happy to say right now, come on, Donald, get on the stage and defend your record.
Candidates need 40,000 individual donors in order to get on the debate stage. And these new numbers reveal that former Vice President Mike Pence and former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson are struggling to meet that threshold. As for the DeSantis campaign, sources tell me more changes are expected soon, and the Florida governor will be resetting his media strategy. Rachel Scott, ABC News, Washington.
Still coming up, one teen going to great lengths for a good cause while she tackled a tough 9-hour swim.
And Tom Cruise famously saved the box office last summer with Top Gun Maverick. Could he do it again? Weekend box office estimates after the break. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 opened at the top of the box office this weekend. It earned $56.2 million just from Friday through Sunday. The movie set a franchise record with a total of $80 million in its first 5 days since opening on Wednesday. Then globally, the movie racked up an estimated $235 million in ticket sales this weekend. Sound of Freedom sold another $27 million worth of tickets to finish second. $13 million put Insidious: The Red Door at number 3. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny fell to 4th place in its third weekend out, grossing $12 million. And Elemental made $8.7 million for 5th place and a domestic total of $125 million.
Outside with live cam, I think maybe we ought to get some of our viewers to send us some weather jokes or something that we can tell just to break up the monotony.
I did that for one of my push alerts on the KSAT weather app a couple weekends ago because we're so repetitive. It's hot. It's hot. I know that it's hot. There was just nothing else to talk about.
Some good jokes?
I can't even remember what my joke was. Oh, it was what does the AC say to the human?
What?
I'm your biggest fan.
See, that's what we need.
There it is. Because we needed it. We need plenty of it. Thank you. Thank you. I got it from the internet. Thank you. So it wasn't all that bad this morning. 77, a few degrees above the average, but not as bad as where we started off last week in the mornings. We're at 92 right now. Daytime highs, though, headed for the triple digits yet again. We'll get you another look at that toasty forecast after the break.
All right, so we've been talking about how hot it is, but I think what we should focus on is that there is a small chance of rain for the first time in a few weeks, and I think that is a big deal.
It is a big deal, especially considering, yes, we still have the drought in place. Right. A lot of folks, the grass probably getting a little crunchy in spots as well. So we will definitely take any little glimmer of hope that we can find when it comes to the 7-day forecast. We'll talk about that in just a second. Really quickly, I want to touch on the Saharan dust because this has been on a big topic on social media over the past week or so. We had some light concentrations of Saharan dust move through portions of south central Texas this past weekend. This is actually a photo that was sent in to KSAT Connect yesterday evening from Skywatcher, a wispy Saharan dust sunset. Just a little bit of a haze out there in the sky. And today and over the next couple of days, we could see just a light concentration of that push across portions of our area, not really going to affect air quality that much. So that is the good news there. But what we'll need to monitor, especially by the second half of the upcoming weekend and even more so into the beginning of next week, it's looking like a thicker plume of Saharan dust could work its way into the Gulf of Mexico and then maybe filter into portions of the area. So a lot of time to monitor that. Just for now, if you notice a little bit of a haze on the horizon, it's just that very light concentration of Saharan dust moving through. And yes, heat is still going to be the big story over the next several days before that small shift in the weather pattern later on this weekend. 92 degrees right now, feeling like 95 thanks to a dew point of 67 7. Winds are out of the south at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Could get a little breezy later on this evening, kind of like what we've seen over the past several evenings. Some wind gusts upwards of 20 to 25 miles per hour, not completely out of the question. Once again, your KSAT 12-hour forecast throughout the remainder of the day. Plenty of sunshine, 104 degrees by 4 to 5 o'clock. And then later on this evening, starting out for any dinner time plans, 102 by 7 p.m. Slowly working our way through the low triple digits and eventually into the 90s after the sun goes down. And you can see by 11 p.m. we're still sitting at about 90 degrees. So yes, it is going to be a very hot start to the work week across the region. 105 that forecast high in Pleasanton, 104 in Gonzales, 102 in Canyon Lake, and 102 over in Kerrville as well. And we've been talking about that heat high, how it's not letting up, at least over the next 48 to 72 hours, with daily opportunities to climb to about 104 tomorrow and into Wednesday. And then as it starts to work its way farther west, that's when we could see a slight downward trend in those daytime highs, but still very hot. And of course, we have those heat advisories and excessive heat warnings in place, not just for us here in South Central Texas, but for a good portion of the state of Texas. So we'll need to monitor that as well. High pressure still very much in control. It's going to be with us over the next few days. A little bit of a different story, though, across portions of the plains, Oklahoma, southern Kansas, and even the Midwest. That's where the Storm Prediction Center has that 1 to 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather this Monday. Nothing like that expected here in San Antonio or South Central Texas. Just the challenging heat throughout the remainder of the work week. And then, yes, maybe as that high pressure works westward by Sunday, an isolated storm chance not completely off the table. We're going to take a step aside. We'll be right back after the break.
Now to that stunning win at Wimbledon. 20-year-old Carlos Alcaraz is the new champion, defeating 4-time winner Novak Djokovic. And what a thrilling match it was. ABC's Laura Spencer was there, and she's got the details.
Overnight, a stunning 5-setter at the Wimbledon men's finals.
Carlos Alcaraz is the special one to dethrone Djokovic at Wimbledon.
20-year-old Carlos Alcaraz defeating the seemingly unbeatable 4-time Wimbledon champ Novak Djokovic in front of a star-studded crowd, including Brad Pitt and Daniel Craig. Prince William and the kids were in the royal box with tennis fan Princess Kate, who handed out the trophies. At the start of the match, though, it did not look good for the young phenom from Spain, losing the first set 6-1 to the dominating Djokovic, who had not lost a single match at Wimbledon since 2019. Despite Alcaraz being ranked number 1 in the world, Djokovic was the favorite to win again, continuing his march to a calendar slam, having already won the Australian and French Opens. After the match, Djokovic calling Alcaraz the better player, finding solace in his runner-up status.
It's nice to see my son still there, still smiling,
And Alcaraz nodding to his opponent's legendary record.
You inspire me a lot. I started playing tennis, watching you. Since I was born, you already was winning tournaments.
That was ABC's Laura Spencer reporting. No, he feels. And on the women's side, Markita Vandrousova of the Czech Republic became the first unseeded player to win at Wimbledon.
You're doing fine, David. You're doing just fine. Well, a 15-year-old completed one of the most challenging swims in the country, all to help raise money for cancer research. Maya Marriage swam around the island of Manhattan. It took her almost 9 hours to make it through the rough waters. She swam a total of 28.5 miles. The marathon swim, known as the 20 Bridges, and that's because it takes swimmers under 20 bridges and 3 rivers.
Knowing that the money that I'm raising makes a difference really encourages me to keep going. And I think that everyone in the world is touched by cancer in some way.
Well, that is an impressive young woman. Her parents were also along for the journey, cheering her on the whole way. And I know there are a bunch of people who got to watch that who were very inspired.
I think it's a feat just to get in that water.
Exactly.
And swim in it, much less go
28.5 miles.
28.5 miles.
Good for her.
Speaking of incredible feats,
Did you see that with all those balls getting dumped on me?
Can you explain, please?
Well, I will in just a moment. First of all, how about a deal of the day? 20% off your entire purchase. But it's only limited to certain folks, and we'll tell you where and who, but a lot of folks can take advantage of that. All right, we're talking about these nice little plastic balls, and look at this pit of just fun right here. And Grace Spain from Soft SA is here, and this comes right to your house.
Yeah.
What a perfect play set for kids, right?
We can set this up in no time for your kids' event.
You gonna help out, CO?
Yes.
Ready?
You want to help her?
Here it comes.
Thank you.
Right through here. There goes. Kid's got a great arm on him. Okay, if you're going to be outside, you got to talk about SPF. Our good friend Elsa Fernandez is here. All right, I buy that.
Mike, how many applications do you think you should get out of here?
About half the summer.
4 to 6 applications.
That's it?
If it lasts you longer, you're not putting enough SPF.
Okay, we are going to talk about that, coffee, and a whole lot more coming up on SA Live.